Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Gail, aka Serpent Salt. Today I'm going to be bringing you guys a recipe video. I'm going to be showing you my version of Avant Garde's Vegan Chicken Katsu. So let's get into the video. The first step of this recipe is putting all your ingredients except for the vital wheat gluten and the chickpea flour into a blender, and we're going to go ahead and blend that up. Right here I have a mixture of poultry seasoning, onion powder, minced garlic, salt, miso paste, and black pepper. And we're just going to go ahead and throw that into our blender. Also to that mixture we're going to be adding a half cup of soy milk. Next you're going to take a piece of Firm Tofu and you're just going to add that to the blender as well. And now we're just going to go ahead and close that up and blend it all together. Okay, so in this bowl I have some chickpea flour and vital wheat gluten. And so we're just going to add the mixture that we blended together in the blender and add it to this mixture. Okay, so now that we got this dough going on, see, all clumpy and gross, we're going to go ahead and knead that for about 10 minutes. Okay, now that it's been around 10 minutes and I've been kneading this, we're going to go ahead and kind of flatten it out and cut it into about 4 pieces. Once you cut it into like your 4 pieces, you're going to want to go ahead and kind of like stretch those ones out too, because it's kind of hard to work with the big one disc. So like take the individual pieces and kind of just stretch it out. Once you have your 4 pieces, we're going to let that sit for a little bit while we go ahead and make our broth for the seitan to cook. This is about a quart of vegetable broth, and we're going to go ahead and pour that into our pot. Okay, we're also going to go ahead and add some salt, a dash of pepper, I'm just going to use 1 bay leaf, a little sprinkle of rosemary, dried onion. We're also going to add some of this poultry seasoning again. And heat that to high heat until it becomes a boil, and then we'll be able to add in our seitan pieces. Now that our broth has come to a boil, I'm going to go ahead and add the seitan pieces to the broth. So we're just going to cover that up and let that cook for about 40 minutes to an hour. I just checked on the seitan and it's all good to go. It's been cooking for about an hour now. So I'm going to go ahead and remove it from the heat and take it out of the broth and put it into one of these little Tupperwares and leave it to cool for at least 4 hours. So if you can see, the seitan has like doubled in size, and that's when you're going to know that it's done boiling and cooking. So I'm going to go ahead and let these cool off for a minute and then pop them into the fridge for about 4 hours. As for the broth, you can go ahead and dump it because it's going to be super concentrated and maybe a little bit bitter from all the spices that you're cooking it with, but I'm going to go ahead and save it for soup later.
I actually waited to the next day to bread and fry the chicken, so I started off by creating a dredge station with some whole wheat flour that I added some salt and pepper to. I mixed that all together and then set it aside. Next, I made the egg replacer by mixing together some garbanzo bean flour, pepper, salt, and water, and mixing that together and also putting that aside. The last station of the dredge station was the panko breadcrumbs. If you can't find this in your grocery store by you can also use crushed up saltines. And I also added a little bit of salt to this just to give some extra flavor to the chicken. Once you assemble your dredge station, go ahead and cut the pieces of chicken at a vertical slant. Once all the pieces of chicken are cut, start the dredge station by dipping the chicken into the flour, then the egg replacer, and then the breadcrumbs. To prevent too much flour sticking to your hands, designate one hand for dry ingredients and the other for wet ingredients. Continue these steps until all the chicken is breaded. For this recipe, it's best if you deep fry the chicken, but I didn't have quite enough oil to do deep frying, so I went ahead and just pan fried the chicken. I cooked each side of the chicken for about 3 to 5 minutes or until the chicken was golden brown. Once the chicken is fully cooked, go ahead and remove it from the oil and set it aside to cool before cutting. For a more traditional style, cut the chicken at an angle. And now the chicken is ready to be served. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys really do try out this recipe, and leave in the comments if you do and if you liked it, and also go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much. Bye.